So, still playing Arkham Horror here, and as to be expected, a couple of errors were pointed out for me. One was when a gate opens up, any clues there get sucked into it. I didn't bother even looking that one up. I'll just take the person's word on it. They obviously play it more than me. The other one I did look up because I was surprised that I didn't catch this, which was when you fight a monster. Well, when you run into a monster, if you don't evade it right away, you immediately take damage from it. It will hurt you before you get a chance to fight it or whatever. Which is to say, if your sneak isn't good, you may not even want to try to evade. And that's something I'll try to keep in mind as well. I'll probably screw it up some more along with tons of other things. Both of those are things that are going to help the adventurers the way I cheated, as opposed to the other side of things. I'll also try to remember what cards are out. What do we got here? It's tough for me because, I take breaks as long as probably most of the viewers, those few who actually watch through the whole playthrough. So this one, in street areas, there's what? A sandstorm. Okay. 2 extra movement to enter green diamonds, and the street areas have luck -1 checks, which went along with, in order to get an item from the card, or from the exhibit deck. And there's this sky creature here, this Migo, who's kind of cool because if you beat him, you end up, well, not killing him, but getting a unique item instead of a trophy, which is cool. Okay, I think I'm set in terms of things here. Again, I'm not going to do the upkeep phase at the correct time. It just doesn't work for me that way in the solo. And, well, we'll start off with what? I guess it's going to be movement, if I can remember correctly. Yeah. Well, in the movement phase, good old Harvey just moved to where he was going. Now, with Kate, we had something interesting happening. She has this gate box, and Relay is not far from where Harvey is. He can handle it. It's a difficult gate for her to handle, so she's dropping down here into Independence Square. Now, the question is, did she want to sneak against that zombie? And the answer is no. She's really good against undead, so she's going to try to just fight it out with it and get the drop on the zombie. Now, in that case, she's got a -1 to her fight. Her fight was only able to be raised to a 3, but she has this bonus marksman ability, and she has this +3 for the cross. So she's going to get 6 dice to fight with. Sorry, probably 5. 5 dice to fight with against that zombie. And she ends up hitting it twice, so that's a successful hit. Or it only needed 1, actually. So she puts that in her pile. And now she has this little token here which says, hey, I can close that gate. I think she gets to find out what the gate is, because otherwise there'd be no penalty there. But we'll wait until the Arkham encounter phase for that. Anyway, to the rest of the people. For the rest of movement, Vincent walked out into the street. He wants to pick himself up one of those items if he can get it. His luck's good. He pumped his combat up, and he's got his shotgun, so he thinks he can handle that Migo, and he'll be able to get 2 items by doing that. He's not in a very powerful position right now. The things around him that he could get to didn't really impress him. And, well, he wants to kind of stay down here so that they can divide up the board. He's counting on Harvey coming in here and then swinging over to the witch house to handle that, because Harvey's the best at closing gates, really. Alright, Daryl got to stand up, and that's about the sum of that. I've got the Arkham encounters. Now, the Arkham encounters are, well, Kate gets to try to seal this gate. Let's see what she found here. She found the City of the Great Race, which is fairly easy. She's got a lore of 5. Nothing else that really gets to play with this. So she gets 5 dice because there's a 0 on there. And gets a success, which is sufficient to give her a gate trophy. She doesn't have enough clues or an elder sign or anything, so she can't really close the gate permanently. but it is getting us towards where we want to be, which is closing all the gates and having 4 of them as trophies. We'll see if we can manage that. The only other person here is Vincent, and, well, I don't know if I shuffled that deck, so I better do so, and we'll see what he gets. Well, Vincent had to make a luck check, which he actually did make. He got a success there. And what he picked up was the Chime of Ra. Now, this is a special magical weapon, which you have these tokens on it, and you can discard them for +2 to horror or combat checks. What does that mean? Does it mean one or the other? I'm assuming both. Might as well be nice to our people. And for the rest of that sort of combat engagement, I believe. Right? During the phase, so it could be multiple monsters. That's a really nice ability, especially if you're facing some kind of nasty stuff you want to deal with. Doesn't get attacked by the Migo yet. What does happen, this card goes away. Okay. It's hard to play one-handed. I forgot to handle Harvey, though. We get to pull for him. He's got blue, that works. He's in the Dreamlands. He has to pass a lore +0 to fight off his desire to sleep. If he fails, he's boned. If he succeeds, he immediately returns to Arkham. I'm hoping that means through his gate. It's not really specified there. But what is it? It is a lore check. Well, his lore is very, very good. His lore is 6 + 1 is 7. I need more dice for him. And he easily succeeds. This is not a great event because although he pushes forward a little quicker, it doesn't really terribly help him. I wonder what happens if there is no proper gate for you to return through. Because we had 2 people in the Dreamlands at once. What if somebody got stuck there, kind of got sucked in somehow, or was really stupid? I guess they're lost in time and space when they come out. I don't know. I didn't look it up. But anyway, Harvey can't handle this right away. That's an Arkham encounter, so he didn't really gain anything there. I'm not sure what he could do that would help him. Anyway, we're on the Mythos phase, and we draw a quick Mythos card. We get something in the graveyard. Where's the graveyard? That's over here. And now that we're playing correctly, I guess, and I did look it up eventually. And what is this? Okay, this is a new environmental effect, but first, we gotta look. Do we have any monsters? Nothing on the board. We should have drawn one. And I really got to stop videoing because it's just too hard to do the mechanical stuff in this game. We got a vampire. That sounds kind of scary. It's an undead with physical resistance. It does a decent amount of hits. And fittingly, it's in the graveyard. Okay. So now, what else do we have? Plus and Crescent. Well, we have a Crescent. He's got to move along the black line into Rivertown. But we also have this Migo, which is going to fly down here. Now, Vincent doesn't get to deal with it right away. He gets to deal with it when he leaves that space. And we also have a new environment. This is a weather one. I don't know how much that matters, but will checks are made at -1. It's an evil fog. And sneaks are made at +1. Flyers don't move. The Migo didn't make it down. Right? What's the order on these? That's actually a weird little issue. I would like to say it doesn't make it down, but I think it does. And here we gotta find... Yeah, flip through the rules. Yay! Yeah, the last thing is activate the Mythos ability. So the Migo actually is down there. It just won't move next turn. And a clue appears on the unvisited isle. Well, we'll have to drop that down. I think that's over in the green area over there. But we also get, because we had a gate, an eyeball for Azathoth. And the unvisited isle. Oh, there it is. Lots of clues there. That's an interesting place. All right. Well, on to the next turn. Okay, so let me try to recap because I moved things kind of quickly this turn. Kate ran down to the graveyard where she's going to encounter that, and I think we already saw that. Then we go to Vincent, who had to get through that Migo, but because of what I found out from my rules correction from someone online, well, and the fact that he kind of wanted an item, he just blasted it with his shotgun. Took the horror check, and he actually took a loss there of sanity. But he ended up, after defeating it, picking up this Elder Sign. Now, the Elder Sign is kind of funny because it loses a stamina and a sanity. Now, he can avoid the stamina by eating something. It looks like he eats enough anyway. But that'll allow him to close something, and perhaps more importantly, it removes an eye from here. So it actually slows the game down to play actual Elder Signs. There's other ways of permanently sealing the gates with the clues, but they don't have that effect. And he ran up to the Black Gate, grabbed himself some additional clues, which may or may not be that important, but he just didn't feel really capable of dealing with that -3 effect. Daryl, on the other hand, said, "The hell with it, I can deal with it. I'm going to use my fight ability, which is pretty good, 5. It's as good as Vincent's lore, and I'm just going to show up there and deal with that." And then finally Harvey, well, he kind of has to stick around here, but there's no reason he can't spend some movement, so he boosted his speed up a little bit. He could have done this, I think, out in the outer world too, but I assume he needs a movement point to move between areas. Again, I'm not sure of these things, and I'd rather not look them up. It's not worth it. The game plays perfectly fine without really resorting to the rules, and it gets a lot less pleasant if you start looking up the issues. It's better just to fudge it. It's not like it's some kind of incredible competition here in any sense. But what he did was he spent those 2 movement points to read the King in Yellow, and almost invariably he succeeded with all his bonuses. So he now has a pile of clues. When he comes back to close this gate, well, actually he's closing it now, he can drop an Elder Sign there to say there will never be a gate there. That does 2 things. 1, if there's 6 or more Elder Signs, it ends the game in a victory for the players. And 2, it prevents gates from popping up there. But it isn't going to change anything over here on Azathoth's track, which is a pity, but that's fine. All right. Now we have to have the encounters, and we start off with Kate. Her encounter is to get sucked off. Into another dimension. Terrible. So she'll be here, and she'll have an encounter in that dimension when we hit the phase for that. But we've got to go on with others. Vincent is going to have a regular encounter, and that'll be from the purple deck. I got to shuffle that sucker up and get to it. And you can see how annoying that kind of is. Is that the only thing he can do? Yeah. So Vincent's event was essentially just a loss of a point of sanity. It was moaning wind or something like that. I don't know. Didn't really cover much. Harvey succeeded in closing his gate. That wasn't hard at all. And then he spent the clue tokens in order to lock it forever. We have events, though, coming now in the other world. And we got good old Kate, who's pulling for any color. And she's in another dimension, which is just going to be other. She pushes herself to the limit. Roll 1 die for each point of stamina you have. Lose 1 for each die that does not roll a success. Ooh, that's painful. Ah, right. That's the kind of event that you got to worry about, right? Okay, let's see. Each point of stamina, she has 3 points of stamina only. Is there anything that can help with this? Not that I see. I'm assuming she can spend clue tokens to help. I'm not positive because this isn't really a skill check. She's got 1 success, so she won't fall unconscious. I'm going to say she can spend a clue token for this. I don't know. That's probably cheating. I like cheating. And that doesn't work. So she's down to 1 stamina, but she gets a clue back, which was one of the kind of bonuses to that action, I guess. Well, that didn't go well for her. Now let's take a look at Daryl. And he also has an event, and he's sitting just in red and yellow. And he gets a yellow. Where is he? Relay. That's an other for him because that's not listed on here. You stare into the face of madness. Roll a die for each point of sanity. Same kind of thing. Gain a clue token for each one that is a success, but you lose lots of sanity. Now Daryl only has 2 sanity left. That's not good, and he doesn't have anything to help him here. Except, you know, I forgot to do some things like roll his money. He gets his $2 again. I don't know if I did that last turn either. It's kind of hard when you're playing just one person playing so many. Okay, now let's see if he can survive this. Does he have anything that'll help? I don't see anything. Alright, he's insane, which means he'll be back, lost in time and space. That's not good for him. And I kind of want to separate those out. They're kind of icky being together like that. I'll just bury them like that. No way we're going to go through that much of the deck. Alright, well that's the other encounters. Now we're over on the Mythos. We have something opening up on the Unvisited Isle, which is over here. Ah, there go the clues again. Darn. We get a new eyeball. This is just going to be a headline event, so it's not going to affect this. But I do have to draw a monster. And yes, I should be pausing and doing this all while I'm not. It's hard when I, start chattering. It's some cultists. Now, cultists aren't in this one. A lot of the monsters affect cultists in specific. Cultists are just kind of human, not terribly nasty, but fairly observant compared to a lot of the monsters in this case. Okay, now we got to deal with movement. And for movement, we've got crescents and pluses. Well, we don't have a lot of monsters on the board, but we do have a crescent, and it's moving on the white. So out it goes, sealing the poor professor in. There's going to be a clue in the sciences building. And anything else? A careless picnicker unleashes 2 monsters on the downtown streets. Okay, so what that means is they're going to draw 2 monsters, and they're going to go down in the downtown area over there. And we ended up with a ghoul who does not count as an undead. He has an ambush ability. I don't remember what that does, but it's not good. It's like you automatically take a horror check and have to face it or something. I don't remember. And then a dimensional shambler who can throw you into time and space if you lose. He doesn't really hurt you. He just throws you there. Well, anyway, poor Daryl's not doing well at all. But we still have Walters who can run to one of these other things and handle it. And, well, Vincent's not too bad. He can handle one as well. So we should be okay. The only real problem is maybe these cultists here.